I can say good evening, but I spend it all day. Uh, I don't need to introduce you. Got my name already. Yeah. That means what I want to say. I need to starting from this lawnmower. Yeah. And at first I will say, first of all, sorry about the language, because I tried to learn this language for 46 years. 46 years in this country, I try to learn. That means I know my language. I am Polish. I born in Poland. I am proud. My whole family, they come from Poland. Pure breed, how I can say. The Poland, it's over 1,000 years. We got the culture. We got the many things we can talk about Poland. But I born over there, and what is it? I've done some schooling. I learned. On the end, I finished in a merchant school, the university. You can say because you actually is the merchant navy high school, more in high school. Yeah. All right, but it's the last, as you know, that I am the officer. On the end, I be an officer in the merchant navy. That means that wasn't so easy when I started working for the Polish steamship company. Another one, you got a PLO, and I work for the Polish steamship company, big company. That means that time there was over 100 ships in this company. I've been on and I work on roughly start working on 14 ships in my life. I've been around the world, nearly every countries. Yeah, every countries. I can only say today I wasn't in US, the closest one. I didn't want to go to US. I don't know why, but somewhere was a barrier to go over there. I've been in Jamaica, I've been in Cuba, but the closest to it. But I never took the ships of ice to go to US. All right, I'm supposed to go to Cuba, to Canada, but the Canada is a part of the land of you in America, and close is the US. I don't know why. I've been nearly everywhere in the whole over the world, but not in America. That's I can't say anything in regards of this country. The rest, like India, Pakistan, all Africa, like starting from Morocco, that means in Casablanca, the very famous name of Casablanca, that reminds me of some movies even, the Casablanca, I remember this movie, beautiful, yeah. But I've been later in West Africa, Abidjan, Douala, Sasandra, Lome, Lagos, Dhaka, many ports over there, and I see that different people, different color of the people. That means what I want to say, some part of Africa, there was a ex-colony of French or English colony. Yeah, that means I can talk about the difference between the colony of French and England. I've been the rest was India, that means in Madras, yeah, in Balakari, even some Hindu people don't know where is the black area and what they did. I got some photos from over there, still I keep it. Yes, from some memories. That means nobody gonna tell me the Hindu people, that means Hindu. That means from people from India. Oh, how good is that thing and the what be? That's a black honkies anyhow. To us that time there was a different class of people. That means I remember boys over there in mud, that thing, oh gee, forget it. I keep it not as a secret. This is another part if you want to talk about the country and why I didn't change on myself psychologically compare what's happened now in Australia when I see the Hindu or Pakistani, you know, that they are completely different people. That means even up to date they are strange to me and I don't like them. I don't like them for sure. But it's not this game. What I want to say that I start to, when I'm doing some jobs, even for myself, as you know that in part I got a nice beautiful machine. It's 4-stroke only lawnmower. You can see that what sort of lawnmower I bought that brand new about one and a half year ago, I think, yeah, in Master, beautiful company Master, which they got the problem, but the Master, I think, bought this machine from a garage. Out, please, out. I'm talking to a dog. They bought some cheap stuff in China. Why are you talking about the cheap stuff? Of course there is the cheap stuff, maybe few dollars cost over there, yeah, to produce this lawnmower. Many things in China, many companies from the West, they open some firms like cars and the car industry and the heavy industry, many things, many companies. We can't say that, of course they've been done by Chinese, but the owners are not the Chinese, most of them the Europeans, even Australia, from US, from all over the world, that means from how we call the capitalist country. And they're doing the cheap stuff. Of course the design is okay, even it's working, but I am very disappointed. We have on a guarantee, okay, forget it if the company is closed down. There was 6 months ago, I think they closed down the Master. Yeah, closed down, and now if anything happened with a product from them, you can chuck it in the rubbish because you can't get a spare parts and you don't have a service. Or you need to be very clever to repair it. For instance, I am very sick man. I got a cancer. Half of the parts of my body that disappear. I was about 1911. I was 90 kilo. That you have imagination. That means my weight was 90 kilo. Today, I am only 65. I was a big, strong man, like that thing. Little bit overweight, but forget it. Maybe now I feel much better with the weight. But that's how I started in the Navy. I always been very active, and as you know, that the Navy people never supposed to be sick on the ships, especially when you're working. Yeah. If they will find out it's something wrong with you, you can lose the jobs, and maybe shorter races. That means close country to our country, like to go to Germany, Holland, yeah, or maybe France, the European country. Yeah. But I've been, believe me, nearly all over the world, and I can say something about the countries, about the people, about the culture, about the behaving, and a little bit of the law, yeah, because like you know that on a ship, if you go in, if you go to some countries that you need to know basic thing in regards of the law and the culture. Yeah? We don't do that as our country, because we can say that on the ship, when you work on the ship, that means it's not a world, not a country. We've been representing our country, but our ship was our country. It's hard to understand. For some, like we said that for the rats people. The rats people, we call that in the Navy, that means the people on the land, when they live on the land. We've been living on the ships. Yeah, that means. But, doesn't matter. I remember the last ship, I will remember to the end of my life. I have a chance to, as a young man, to have a very good offer in some countries, European countries. I remember in France, in Rouen especially, it was 70 kilometers from Paris. Somebody recommended me, and I will have a very good job over there. And I refused. I never was thinking to, how we call it, jump from the ship. Some European or even Germany, we have an open whole world for us, for seamen. But as you know that we have a very good wages, we have always money. That means when I work for the Navy, I've been working, we've been earning sometimes the same money, actually more money what was making the Prime Minister of Poland. Oh, my daughter just was thinking, yeah, I have quite few houses, I didn't know what to do with the money. Not to do, I knew it, but I was no worried. That means from beginning as a young man I was rich. You can say was rich. Never rich. We never calculate the money. The money was a normal thing. The most important was the health and to keep the job and they got the avance. Yeah? I only avanced to a second officer down below as a young man. Yeah? They cost me a lot of sacrifices. Yeah? I starting from I remember the first race. That means everybody must remember first time the job on a ship. Yeah? After the school. Yeah, that means I don't want to mention, it's not that part. We're supposed to talk about this bloody lawnmower. Yeah. What had happened? From beginning, this lawnmower had been jumping for 1 year. As soon as I bought it, but I said that the Chinese, they come from China. You can't say that they've been done by the Chinese labor, but the owners, they are people from how we call it, Western country. Yeah? They are big business. They're opening over there because they are cheap labor and they have a promise export to everywhere where they want. Even they come to Australia. But I am unhappy because what they take to Australia, they don't have a service, any product, most of the product. Where is the service for that? Where is the parts if something happens? You cannot make it, but I said, well, maybe we'll repair somehow. Maybe some parts I will modify it and modify it from different machine, and they'll be okay. I open up this one because something happened. Actually, because of my sickness, my daughter, 14 years old daughter, just helping. Actually, not helping. She's doing my job, which supposed to been done by me. It's a the 4-stroke machine. They got the ignition, supposed to start easy, yeah, and the easy going. And there was a yesterday, before yesterday, yeah, you was cutting, yeah. Say something, yeah. That means you was cutting and she couldn't stop that machine. I said, what? That means what? Did something wrong? I went over there and I switched it off. That means first there was an ignition problem. I got to impart the ignition. I put it in part. Of course, it's a cheap material. Cheap material. No, it's fixed up now. I fixed it up. Now it's working, but I need to put it together. Especially I done it. If you can see it, what that means. Yeah? But I fixed up this one. I was not satisfied. I said to myself, I need to modify. Put the ignition that I will put the separate. Like on the boats, we got it, the ignition too. But I said that we can overpass the ignition. Put the start. That means not the start. That means switch on and start with the starting by the starter model. Yeah. Of course, they got the bendings inside there. Everything is a small one. I said that maybe I will fix it up. This one was fixed up, but the starter didn't work properly. Didn't want to work. Then I said, oh sugar, must be the brushes or something that can start the motor. So that means the starter. She don't need to pull it each time like a bloody idiot, you know. Only for that is the ignition. The ignition I fix it up, but it needs to be modified in the future because the first time and the last time I put it together, not the first time, second or third time I do that, the ignition that I knew what's happened. The material is very soft and you can't get the parts from the start. I said that I will put the on, off and the start, yeah, finished. And there will be no more problems. But the problem was with the starter. I said, oh sugar, that I better open up. I put it in pieces. Of course, you can see that I got quite few tools in here. Yeah, that means look at the all bodies, that thing. All right, here is the pull start. Of course, they can run it in a pull, but my girl is the girl. It's not the man. It's a woman. Yeah, that must be easy. Easy for it, turn the ignition and as usual there was a start. You know, we didn't have a problem. As soon as I open up and I see that the bending is working. It's working properly, but very cheap. That means it's by the rotation, the pushing the bendings up and they will start. But at some teeth, one tooth in the drive shaft of the motor, it's broken. It's disappeared. It's no more. I said, oh sugar, I can't get this motor in here for sure. I better. When I open up, I see the brushes. Yeah, the brushes still is halfway. It's gone already. Yeah, it's no bearings inside in here. Only the bushes. It's the bottom bush and the top bush. They don't even have a bearings in here. That means how we call the dry bearing. Dry bearing to us is bushes. I remember still that from the school. That means you can call the dry bearings. But when I clean it up properly, that thing, I check the solenoid in here. Solenoid, it's working still okay. That means it's switching on, switching off. It's all right. That means passing the current, it's okay, you know, that means plus. I fix it up, all right, but like you see it's a many things. Have a look at the cheap stuff. That means it's a flywheel in here, yeah? It's a piece of the bloody metal, you know, must be from a scrap when they're getting the scrap metal to China, for sure, if they're selling over there. And getting already rusty. Have a look. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good design. I don't like it. It's even the flywheel to me is a very solid. But the rest of the parts, like electronic in here, it's just a small electronic, and it's very simple one. but we can't get a parts in here. There will be problem with the brushes. Where to getting brushes? Easy to say. Yeah? Go to the electric shop or that thing. Maybe you go to a JICA. No, you're not buying a JICA. Bullshit. You don't buy that in a JICA. We need to find it if somebody got it in Melbourne, the store with the brushes. It's not only with this motor, with the Mercury we got the problems too to get some brushes. You can't get some brushes for the Mercury engine, outboard engines. That means maybe you will get it from somewhere, from somewhere private companies in the US directly. For sure you will get it, but in Australia they're not valuable, how we know that. Even the Rising Marine, the Mercury Rising, they don't even have it. We checked that, you know. But doesn't matter. That's a part of the bloody Mercury engine. But this one was now that I asking that question. Lot of stuff. What is coming to Australia? They coming from Chinese country. That's made in China. Made in China. Like Robert Bosch and like some car industry, some parts, all parts been making by the what? Western people like Robert Bosch, Germans. Then they have a company over there, and the Chinese people doing the bloody cheap from a cheap materials. They're doing something and they're sending to Australia. Still, the Robert Bosch. At least you got a. In here, in Melbourne, you got the company, and there may be some parts from for Robert Bosch you will get it. But for example, I got a starter done it for the Mercury by the Robert Bosch. That was made in China. Work only, what is it? About 50 hours. 50 hours. Now another starter, and it's nearly gone. That means you see that material from over there. That means if this starter for the outboard engines are done it in China by the Robert Bosch, I don't know, that's only for the unserviceable. You're doing by unservice. You need to buy a new one anyhow. Don't play it. Don't buy any bloody parts that are so cheap. Roughly $100. That means the starter for the outboard. But we go back to this part. I fix it up and I said that why the Australia? Let it go some product. We're talking about the politicians. Why they getting the product in here if some companies in Australia they import from China to here, and then what is the service of this product? Like for this one, it's no service, no parts. That means it's only one way. If you want a part, you pay the ticket, go to China, yeah, and they buy the parts over there and coming back to here. But I can't do that because I don't like rice. I don't want to eat rice, and in every restaurant there will be rice. I don't want to stay over there even for the few days. Maybe I will have the cross eyes, you know. That means I am too scared. I better be like I'm bored. And maybe somewhere in a second hand you can get it. This one is new models in here in Australia, but for the temporary I fix it up. If not, I modified what I said with a starter. I don't know what to do with a motor. It's a very small motor because they're all in a one piece. Not in a one piece. Yeah, actually the starter it's similar builds up like any starter model. You know, that means you're pushing the appendix up, that's it, start, finished, yeah? But it's fixed now, I don't know for how long. That means how many hours they can work. And this lawnmower, what I realize, not supposed to work when the grass is wet. Why? Because all right, you can clean it up, you can wash it, but as soon as the water getting into the starter, they will come for sure, because it's not covered, it's not properly covered. You will see it, what I have it. I need to put it everything together, some wiring in here. Any bloody drop of the water will go to the starter. You plug it up, the starter motor for sure, because it's not even covered from outside. Yeah, you can say. It's very cheap done. Cheap done. That means I will never even produce that sort of thing, because I know that there will be problems. Okay. But what I starting from part one. Yeah, another problem what I have, that with my speedboat in here, I can call the speedboat, about over months already. I thought that I have a bit of accident. I've been running on the water. I've been running on the water, just against the waves, driving little bit with the adrenaline over, say, 70, 80 miles an hour on my small engine anyhow. And then suddenly I have a wave and I lift the boat up. That means the air. Somehow I get the change the wind on the Port Phillip Bay, and the wind was changed, and the speed and the wrong wind I catch up, which they lift the boat like a bloody plane, and I landing in a whole boat. That means all engine and the whole bloody boat went up. You know, I was really in sugar myself. And on the side I fell with the whole boat, just like a plane. But I didn't dive, lucky, because if I will dive, there will be big problem. I didn't have any gear. That means any helmet, or I have a life jacket, but the life jacket it's not suitable for the racing. I used that time the only life jacket, which is not suitable for that sort of extreme sport. But lucky that thing, and what was it? Only break the side of the windscreen. I will show you. That means when the windscreen, I will explain what's happened in the windscreen. This windscreen, when the air catching in here, and they cover only the face, you know that, because that is a bend in here. You see, it's a bend, especially aerodynamics. When the wind hit it up, will hit the front of the boat, the wind will go up, never pass through in here. You know that aerodynamics, that means what. And you see that it's broken on this side in here. And they have a look. It's an old one. It's about 20 years old. This windscreen is nothing wrong, just a little bit of that, but it's clear. You can see anything, and it's like a glass. All right. That means I said it. All right. I go into the manufacturer of the boat, who designed this boat. That's a Caribbean. It's not bad design. I can't complain about the design. It's a good design for the small boat like this. It's 5 meters 20, what I count exactly. And even I redesigned inside in the hull. I make a better strength in here. Even I can put a 300 horsepower make in here. It's no problem. At the moment I running 175 for a few years, and wasn't any problem. Even it's a little bit stronger and much faster, which I love it. But I only thinking to have a 300 horsepower, but it cost me 32 grand. I can't get a 32 grand, especially in my condition. I'm not working that time, because what is it? I'm smoking, all right? I don't give a damn. I got a cancer, stomach is out, yeah. That means, well, some tubes going right through my liver. Don't want to show it, don't want to talking about my problems with the health. But what is it? It's what's his name? What they took it out? It is not the pancreas.
Gallbladder.
Gallbladder. Yeah, gallbladder. It's off. That means stomach is completely out. Yeah. Total stomach remove. Of course, I lost the weight. I only have about 65. Quite few chemotherapy. I stopped the rest of the chemotherapy because I was not feeling well. That means before the operation, when they took the stomach, I have a three times session of the chemotherapy, like you said, and I think the overdose just bit, but I forgive it. At least I am still alive, you know. Thanks to the one doctor, actually his team, but he is number one, which I can say that openly. That was in 2011. I have a operation. He removed the total stomach. What? Now can say something because maybe I don't remember.
It was 2012.
What?
2012.
All right. What's the difference? 1 year different. Okay, the 2012 they removed it. Another thing they removed this thing, and now I got a problem with bile duct. That means I know that if I losing the bile duct, that means I am gone. Yes? But we have actually different surgeons that doing this sort of job already. It's over what, 2 months already, I think. These bloody stupid things. You know, I got a tubes in here. They have some problem. I am always bad luck. Always something wrong because the first time they come in with this. All right, that I knew it. They couldn't took the stones from my ball duct. What is the not the ball duct? Yeah, it's closed. That means they put the bloody tube. Truly, they stabbed me in here. Put the tube. Of course, they couldn't go from the top because I don't have a stomach. It's them jobs. That means the surgeons don't know what they're doing sometimes. And the tube, the drying tube, when they blew up the stones inside in this ball duct. You know, that means they put it from this side going, I repeat it, through to the liver in a channel. They find some channel in here in the liver. They go to the liver and they go right through to drain the dirt and everything from a ball duct, you know. And there is a special sleeve on the end where they put this bloody tube, like you put it. The overlap in here, like on the bottom, you know, that means when they're putting the bloody tube, yeah, or you can see it, the tube in here, that means through to the liver, they put it, simple, to show it on the bloody can of the WD-40, yeah. To put the tube in here, they put the overlap with the over top in here, then it's not collapsing. You know, that means they done it everything correct, but now we got the problem to take this tube out. Already it's overdue, and it's too many experts in a hospital, especially in Monash Hospital. Yeah, I can complain that about the surgeons, but you have some idiots and you have a proper surgeons over there too. But you must be very lucky if you are outpatient, yeah? Oh, even I got a private doctor to do that. I don't want to mention the name. She's got a private clinic, yeah? He working for the Monash too. And I says, no problem. You're paying the money, I pay the extra. Of course, when you're sick, you need to pay. Now you know that you need to have an opinion. And first time when the operation went through, that means, of course, there was a general anesthetic. I was in sleeping, that thing, bullshit, you know. But a few days, always I withdraw from my hospital. As soon as the operation is finished, I want to go home and I need to sign the piece of paper. It's on my risk of that thing. I don't want to stay over there. I got a very bad experience in the hospital. Like I said, I am the cancer. I'm fighting with my cancer, with my health, with everything. They can say that I am cancer-free, that it's not spreading. All right, but one by one, they're taking all bloody parts. It soon will be nothing left. But my brain's still bloody working here. All right. And of course, the nurse is coming to my place when I withdraw from that thing. They're putting the, what's the name, the dressing in here of that thing, of the tube. There was a big bag in here. And, you know, first, they let me go out from the hospital. They forgot to put the bag. What is that? What's supposed to come to the bag, and then you need to watch it. There was for the first days, you know, as soon as when it's the finish, supposed to take and tube out, and they will be finished. But they forgot to put the bloody bag, and I went home. For 3 days I was suffer on the bloody heavy drugs. That means painkillers. You can say the painkillers. It's the only drug. With this drug you can't drive and you can't do that many things. So of course it's killing the pain. But when the nurse came in, one day I didn't know I got some strange attack of the pain. I didn't know what's happened. Everybody was asking, even my local doctor, the local doctor, that means family doctor. I can say the name because they are good doctors. Like I said, bad doctors I don't mention the name. Good doctors I can say the names. There is Dr. Maxwell, and she was surprised that they didn't put the bag. Even I called her at night. She came into my place because I was in a bloody agony. And she comes even to my place at night. I know that the first time I did it I didn't done it that for 10 years to call the doctor or an ambulance in my life. Yeah. But she came and I was surprised I don't have a bag. I said, they didn't put it. I don't know why. No. They put it and they blocked the bloody tube, that's it. And they sent me home. All right. After a few days, when the nurse came in, I have a big attack. I didn't know what's happened. She actually saved my life because I was attacked. They fall me on the bloody floor. She thought so. But the later we talked, I have a. She thought so. I have a heart attack. But at my heart, it's okay. That means all my life was nothing wrong with my. Even I smoking. I don't have any bloody big changes on my lungs. The lungs are healthy, and my heart is healthy, and everything is healthy. But it's where it come from is this pain. That I was on the floor. She called that in a. We've been waiting. What she said about 4 to 7 minutes. The ambulance came. The ambulance came. The people from ambulance straight away they put me the bloody the morphine. Bang bang. That's it. In the ambulance, go to the hospital. And I have another attack in the hospital. I lost the conscious, and I remember some parts I don't remember. I know that one of the surgeon, I grabbed him, I said to him, I remember that, when I go, you go with me, because he was a big bastard. He didn't know what is it and what sort of, he didn't have a record of my history, and he asked me some silly questions when I've been still in a mood the pain just a relief, and I can say something, no. I said, you're gonna go with me. If I go, and come on, give it a bloody morphine, you bloody idiot. And quick, if not, I go in. I grab him, and I told you I needed that. My family then said that the many things what was happening, but I don't remember because I lost the conscious. I was in a dying. I was in agony over there. Believe me, in a bloody intensive care, that thing, all bullshit, lot of things. I remember just the parts of that, just a little bit, no. I was losing conscious and coming back, losing the conscious, no. They have that thing, and my wife was thinking, and my family, and the doctors, I'm gonna die. But like you see it, I'm smoking now. About a few weeks later, now. But I come in, they send me from one hospital to another one, to Monash again, and they put me on a bloody, clean up the whole bloody body, that thing, that is the system. I was in directly on antibiotics. They put me antibiotics, they were going over there, and I said that as soon as I am good, I better piss off because I'm gonna die in this bloody hospital. And as soon as come much better, I knew what was wrong. That means because of the negligence of the surgeons and that thing, they didn't put this discharge back, but they put the plug in here, and that's how they sent me home. That was happened, and what was it? All infection. I have a very strong infection, the whole body being infected. Finito, that means you die. Lucky. They cleaned it up and with the antibiotics straight away, and when I know that I was for 2 days in a hospital, they want to keep me delayed that thing for that. No, I said that I better piss off. But you got some good surgeons, which in the hospital, which they coming from the backside, and I ask him what's wrong with me and what's happened, and that thing. They give me some instructions, because those surgeons on duty, when they come in on a ward, like that they're sometimes talking bullshit, and they not inform you properly, only say hello, bye-bye, that's it, and you need to stay, we will do this. I said, oh shit, that means something wrong. That means, I thought so, these doctors that told me this one on duty talking a different way, they're talking bullshit. That's happening in the outpatient now. You know that they got a bloody problem they have a problem with dressing. The nurses, the next time they come in, a different nurse to me to change the dressing, and she put the wrong side the bloody tube, because they put this back later, that when everything, they shut up, that means everybody being quiet, only they put there was a suspicion on the infection. Bullshit, I was infected, I was in a dying, in a agony, you idiots. Why you don't say that in the papers, the truth, what was happening with me? Yeah, about a few hours later, maybe one day later, I'll be 6 foot under already, you idiots. But my wife is not silly. They said that she will do the autopsy. If I'm gonna die in there, she was already prepared to do the autopsy, because she didn't believe it. Believe me, I am strong man, strong in here. Maybe not in here anymore, but in here. That means that was okay. Like you said, they're sitting in here and they're talking, even smoking. Yeah? And I've been in 2-3 doctors already in the meantime, because I'm waiting when they're getting out this bloody tube, and they're changing only the dressing in here at home, the things. When the nurse put it wrongly, some dark they call themselves the nurse, yeah? That means when they come into your place and they're changing their dressing. I said that everybody's sake, I don't want any nurses anymore, especially if they not graduate in Melbourne. They have some, they're coming from a different countries, some black countries, and they bloody the nurses. Already we have a overproduction of the nurses. You don't have a qualified nurse. They said that, oh, they have a qualification in them country, and they're coming in here, pass some bloody courses, you know, and they said that now you're working in a hospital. They good nurses, which they finish